Next, on American Movie Classics, Merle Oberon as Catherine, Laurence Olivier as Heathcliff. Experience Hollywood's greatest romance, Wuthering Heights, co-starring David Niven. Next on American Movie Classics.
In June, there are legendary stars, terrific double features, and a special Working Girl Festival coming your way on AMC. First, Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell make front-page news in Howard Hawks' scintillating comedy classic.
I intended to be with you on our honeymoon, Hildy, honest I did.
All I know is that instead of 2 weeks in Atlantic City with my bridegroom, I spent 2 weeks in the coal mine.
His Girl Friday. Then Victorian England is the backdrop, but it's a modern Katharine Hepburn who decides to fight convention and stand up for women's rights in A Woman Rebels. Next, 3 born beauties set out to cash in on romance. Lauren Bacall, Marilyn Monroe, and Betty Grable star in How to Marry a Millionaire. Also this month, AMC takes a sophisticated look at big business. June Allison and Lauren Bacall are just 2 of the ladies who prove it's a woman's world. This month's movie lineup is jam-packed with excitement.
You'll sign these papers, I'll skin the lot of you.
We decided we're not going to sign. It's too much money.
Don't miss Spencer Tracy as a powerful cattle baron determined to leave his pioneer spirit to his sons. Richard Widmark and Robert Wagner co-star in Broken Lance. Humphrey Bogart gives 2 memorable performances.
Okay.
First is an American pilot on the run, posing as a Catholic priest. Gene Tierney, E.G. Marshall, and Lee J. Cobb co-star in The Left Hand of God. Then Bogart stars again, this time as an uncompromising newspaper editor who risks his life in order to expose a major criminal in Deadline, U.S.A. June is blooming with great movies and special double features, like Gregory Peck in the critically acclaimed David and Bathsheba, and in director Henry King's illustrious screen version of the Hemingway novel, The Snows of Kilamanjaro, co-starring Susan Hayward. June is a festival of wonderful memories on American Movie Classics.
In what movie did Katharine Hepburn brave crocodile-infested waters? How many movies did Cary Grant make with Alfred Hitchcock? What was Fred Astaire's nickname for Ginger Rogers? You know, in past months, I've answered questions just like these in my exclusive column in the pages of American Movie Classics magazine. Every issue of the magazine takes readers behind the scenes of classic Hollywood with beautiful photographs of your favorite stars and revealing stories about the classic movies that we all remember and love so well. Every month, you'll read profiles of the stars and share in the memories of the people who were behind as well as in front of the cameras. American Movie Classics magazine also brings you a detailed, easy-to-read schedule of all the great movies, plus our own AMC original programming.
To order the magazine of classic Hollywood and save 50% off the cover price, send a check or money order for $11.95 to American Movie Classics magazine, Post Office Box 2065, Marion, Ohio 43305. Or use your Visa or MasterCard by calling 1-800-535-7700. That's American Movie Classics magazine, P.O. Box 2065, Marion, Ohio 43305. Or call 1-800-535-7700.
Now, let me give you the answers to those questions I just asked. Maybe you already guessed that Katharine Hepburn entered crocodile-infested waters during the filming of African Queen. That one was kind of easy. During his career, Cary Grant made 4 movies with Alfred Hitchcock, including one of his own personal favorites, North by Northwest. Finally, one day, during the filming of Top Hat, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers were filming a scene in which Ginger was wearing a gown covered with feathers. And when they started to dance, the gown began to shed, and Fred said it was like dancing in a snowstorm. From that day on, he called Ginger Rogers Feathers. The magic of the movies, the legends of Hollywood, are all covered every month in the magazine of classic Hollywood, American Movie Classics magazine. American Movie Classics presents Newsreel Theater, featuring rare newsreel footage of historic people and events.
The Hudson River flows past the movie capital of the world. No, not Hollywood, California, but New York City. The legendary Baghdad on the subway is also Hollywood on the Hudson. For within sight of what passed for the towers of Manhattan in the 1880s, Thomas A. Edison turned a few flickering shadows into the 10th largest industry in the country. Here in ramshackle studios like these, now neglected and abandoned, they made movies for 25 years. while what is now Hollywood on the Pacific was still squedunk in the sagebrush. A few of these old film factories still remain, empty cocoons of a butterfly business that moved west in search of eternal sunshine, the camera weather of California. But standing sets like ghost towns and haunted studios are all that's left to remind us of the days when Pearl White risked her life on a tenement clothesline in Hackensack, New Jersey, and we had to wait a whole week to find out if she survived. Those were the days when Western train robberies were filmed in West Yonkers, New York, complete even to the clutching hand. Hollywood on the Hudson and in the Hudson itself, a ferocious rubber octopus. That was yesterday. Today, New York handles the business end of an industry whose factories are in Los Angeles, a $500 million business controlled and regulated from offices like these, 3,500 miles away from the studios and sound stages of California. Hollywood on the Hudson, with more theaters than any other city in the world, is the chief showcase for the industry's finished product. To these theaters to be premiered come the most important pictures and the most important picture people, like the beautiful Miss Faye Ray. And here's Sonia Henney, flanked by Larry McPhail, head of the Brooklyn Dodgers, and husband Dan Topping. The cutest thing east of Walla Walla, Simone Simone. Mr. and Mrs. Bambino Babe Ruth. And the Joltin' Joe DiMaggios. Apparently this picture has something to do with baseball. The lobby is full of left fielders and Yankee catcher Bill Dickey. Publicity is an important function of a film company's New York office. So a press reception is given for movie star Anna Nagel on her arrival from England.
As a matter of fact, we came over by a troop ship. I can't tell you what it was. No, of course. I'm not allowed to mention the name, but it was a pretty exciting trip.
May I ask you, Miss Nagel, if you had any trouble with Nazi submarines?
Well, we had, but again, I don't think I can mention that. We had some exciting moments on the voyage. It was so good to be with all these lads who are coming out to train in Canada, and a number of your men returning who have been serving with the British forces. And well, we used to give them concerts and try to amuse them a bit.
Stage, screen, and radio people on both coasts give much of their time these days to entertaining the boys in uniform. Among them, I'm proud to say, is Arlene Francis, which is me, resting her feet, which is weary, after dancing with 6 Marines, a chief petty officer, and an entire battery of field artillery. It's a serviceman's cafe in the dimmed-out bright light sector of Old Broadway. Dividing her cake and attentions equally between both services is lovely Joanne Sayre. Eddie Cantor drops in to make a little whoopee with a gang. Whenever they're in the city, on vacation, location, or personal appearance trips, picture people always drop in here to kid with the boys or sign autographs for them to send back home. But Hollywood on the Hudson is not just a second-string movie city. Here in the home offices of the 8 major companies, the art departments are at work on posters and display material designed to make you want to see the pictures they represent. The theory here being, if you like it in the lobby, come in and look at it on the screen. Advertising layouts and promotion plans are ready on most pictures even before the cast is completed or the cameras turn. This department, the still library, is devoted to an indexed photo file of scenes from every picture made by the company, as well as camera portraits of all its stars. From here, copies are sent out to editors who use them to pep up your favorite magazine or newspaper. In the contract department is recorded the playing dates, theaters, and revenues of every picture from the time it's made until its last run, which may be years later. But the New York end of the industry is not all dollars and cents. They still make movies in Hollywood on the Hudson. Fabulous salaries? Well, not especially. particularly not at the old Astoria studio. Here the actors and technicians average little more than $50 a month. You see, this is an official post of the Signal Corps photographic branch of the U.S. Army. They have 2 complete sound stages and countless location units busy constantly making training films to instruct the rest of our fighting men in the technicalities of soldiering. Many a Hollywood draftee has found himself back in the business at less money perhaps, but with plenty of thrills. Daredevils Incorporated. They are the newsreel cameramen looking at death, danger, and disaster through the searching lens of their cameras. They operate all over the world, but every story made goes back to New York for editing. In New York, too, is made a large percentage of short subjects. Here on the set of the Information Please series, guest star John Carradine shares the attentions of the makeup man with the famous 4 experts on everything. Fashion pictures just don't mean anything unless they're made in New York. The style center of the world is also the headquarters of the prettiest models in the country, many of whom graduate from jobs like this to California movie contracts. Here at the Gray O'Reilly Studios, this winter's woman is shown what she will wear on next summer's bathing beach. A small projection machine called a moviola is used in editing short subjects like this Picture People reel. This 2-inch square screen is probably the smallest that Ginger Rogers has ever appeared on, but a cutter in New York, by editing a scene shot in California, will put her picture on 1,000 screens all over the country. Mile upon mile of celluloid, transformed by lights and shadows into images, and transferred to a screen into entertainment. That is the tale of 2 cities, one of which is Hollywood on the Hudson.
You're watching American Movie Classics. It was a time of war, a time for heroes,
Listen to him carefully and do exactly as he says.
a time when even love couldn't be trusted.
I know it's tough when the woman you love goes over to the enemy.
John Wayne leads the troops to victory. Anthony Quinn and Beulah Bondi co-star in the exciting World War II drama Back to Bataan. Monday on American Movie Classics.
Charlotte, what have you done?
A spinster is tormented by delusions.
He really isn't here, is he? Just now, I thought I heard...
Betty Davis and Olivia de Havilland star in the AMC mystery Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte. Tuesday.
Darling, there must be an answer for us somewhere.
The mystique of France, the pride of Spain, and the splendor of Mexico come alive in the classic screen version of Hemingway's intimate profile of a lost generation. Tyrone Power, Ava Gardner, Eddie Albert, and Errol Flynn star in The Sun Also Rises. Thursday on American Movie Classics.
When an irresistible force such as you meets an old immovable...
An orphan falls in love with her mysterious guardian.
Dear Daddy Longlegs, you never answered my questions, and they were very important.
Fred Astaire and Leslie Caron star in the American movie classic Daddy Longlegs. Friday. When you think of things classically American, you can't help but think of the American mom.
At least drink your milk. Mom. That's my boy.
Now, American Movie Classics wants to help you do something special for your mom with the 2nd annual Classic Mom of the Year Awards.
Lord, Rebecca, you'll be late for school.
Just tell us in 100 words or less why you feel your mom has the qualities of a classic movie mom.
Rebecca, pick up your feet.
There are plenty of chances to win, and every nominee will receive a certificate inscribed with her name.
Mother.
Mother,
And if she's our grand prize winner, we'll fly her and her family to Colonial Williamsburg, site of the first Thanksgiving, for a Thanksgiving Day feast. Our classic mom will also appear on American Movie Classics to host AMC's holiday movie.
Oh, that's for nothing.
Just send your entries to American Movie Classics Classic Mom of the Year contest. P.O. Box 610, Woodbury, New York, 11797. Classic movies and classic moms from American Movie Classics.
Are these people pirates?
American Movie Classics presents a swashbuckling adventure for the entire family.
What do you think this boat is? This is a serious boat.
You know, these kids are dangerous. They scare me.
Kids are kids. You want to play games, huh? I get you.
James Coburn and Anthony Quinn set sail for A High Wind in Jamaica, premiering Sunday, June 17th, part of our Father's Day celebration on AMC.
This is really living it up, isn't it?
People that live any other way are just crazy.
Take a personal day.
Hello? That's right, it's still no.
Hold all calls.
Got a better offer, huh?
You bet I've got a better...
All right, go on, take it, work for somebody else.
And settle in for a week with Hollywood's most sensational working girls.
I'm no fool. I've killed the boss. You think they're not going to fire me for a thing like that?
June 18th through 22nd at 5 p.m. Eastern. Only on American Movie Classics.
Stay tuned for our next feature. But first, American Movie Classics presents a conversation with screen legend Alice Faye.
It was a wonderful life. It was great. I loved it. It was all I knew. I mean, I was working for a living. I was supporting my mother. I had a brother that was very arthritic. And it was a job. And it was a big family. That's the way it used to be at the studios. And the hairdresser and the wardrobe woman and all the men on the set. We knew everything about each other. We knew who was going to have a baby, everything. It was family. It wasn't a grind. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure in those days to work. You were well protected by your publicity department. They treated you well because they didn't pay the money they pay today. But I enjoyed every minute of it. My daily schedule was pretty rugged sometimes. I would get up at 5:45, 5:30, brush my teeth and put on a robe and get in my car, and I had a driver who would take me to the studio. And I had a lovely dressing room, and I had a lovely wardrobe woman and a makeup man, and they took care of me. They had coffee or tea or whatever I wanted. I would go through my chores of makeup and hair, and I would be on the set at 8:30, and then I'd dress, and then I was in front of the camera at 9, and we would start shooting. We had 1 hour for lunch, and in those days, they could, well, I was pretty young, so they could work you way past 7 sometimes, 8 o'clock at night, so it was a pretty long day. When I went to Fox Studios, I was, and it was Fox, it wasn't 20th Century Fox. I mean, I called it Penitentiary Fox because I spent the best years of my life there, so it was Fox, but I didn't know anything else. I mean, this was my family, this was my life, this was my whole being. And I didn't know what to do with myself on weekends because I'd miss everybody. And then when I left and had a baby and had 2 girls, 2 children, and learned how to run a house and how to drive a car and how to do all that. When I went back to do State Fair, I was a different Alice Faye. So it really wasn't as much fun as it was before. I really enjoyed my work, and I loved the people I worked with. And today, like I say, everybody's in a hurry, and everybody is a lot more greedy, and they haven't time to stop and smell the flowers on the way, which is sad.
Next, on American Movie Classics, Merle Oberon as Catherine, Laurence Olivier as Heathcliff. Experience Hollywood's greatest romance, Wuthering Heights, co-starring David Niven, next on American Movie Classics. This month on American Movie Classics.
You are an evil woman. You have lived an evil life, and you have come here to carry your infamy to other places.
You're a liar.
Joan Crawford is a reckless, jaded party girl.
I am bad, but I want to be good, only I don't know how.
And Walter Houston is the only man who can save her.
Devil in you was strong, my poor Sadie Thompson. Evil has claimed you as its own.
You take care of your own evil, and I'll take care of mine.
Together, they weather the storm in Rain. Wednesday on American Movie Classics.
Listen, you told me there was money in the fight deal. You take me on, and I'll make plenty for both.
Explore the power and glory of Hollywood's greatest fight films in this made-for-AMC exclusive original program. It's fast and furious as Hollywood's heavyweights De Niro, Stallone, and more go round for round in AMC's exclusive Knockout, Hollywood's love affair with boxing. Thursday on American Movie Classics.
A free press, like a free life, is always in danger.
He was an uncompromising newspaper editor, determined to expose a major criminal.
Listen to me. Print that story, you're a dead man.
That's the press, baby. The press. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing.
Humphrey Bogart, Martin Gable, and Ethel Barrymore star in the AMC drama Deadline USA, premiering Saturday, June 9th at 8 p.m. on American Movie Classics.
Take my love on faith. It is yours. It will always be yours.
Passion leads to sin and destruction in the Holy Land.
You have paid for your adultery, but you have also killed.
Gregory Peck stars as the monarch who jeopardizes his kingdom. And Susan Hayward is the woman he risks it for in the AMC epic David and Bathsheba, premiering Monday, June 11th at 9 p.m. on American Movie Classics.